Analyst Professor Somadoda Fikeni. Prof, always a pleasure to see you here on SABC News. Thank you very much for joining us, as always.
Thank you very much, Flo.
Are we to expect some sort of a showdown, Prof, given that we know that the ordering of issuing of the summons by the Deputy Chief Justice comes at the time when the former president's lawyers have actually requested that the Deputy Chief Justice, Zondo, in fact recuse himself from the commission. I mean, should we separate those two issues, or are they bound to play together? I mean, given the fact that we have these two fundamental issues playing at the same time.
If the former president doesn't yield and comply, it's likely that the matter will end up in courts. And at the same time, it is likely to be treated as a matter urgent, given the fact that the lifespan of the commission itself is already on its very last legs, having been extended.
I mean, the last time that the former president appeared before the commission, there wasn't much we were able to really get out of that. And please do correct me if I'm wrong, Professor Fikeni. What are your expectations should he indeed come to the commission of inquiry this time?
I do think that here there is a pattern. Most of the people who came to testify the first time around were allowed a leeway to give their narrative in almost an unguided fashion. But once you do have other witnesses coming in, and probably behind the scenes forensic investigations to corroborate, you are seeing people appearing for the second or third time, beginning to contradict themselves and no longer having the free range that was there. So in this case, you have seen quite a number of people, 34 to be precise, who mentioned that the former president was aware of some of these interactions, with people who might have been involved in an improper conduct. So to that extent, I'm sure the questions would be a lot more pointed.
Yeah.
And that is where he would have to be consistent or contradict those.
Yeah. Prof, from the time that the last time that we saw the former president at the commission to now, is there anything that you can pick up that has been given as evidence or spoken about at this time that really does point to the president, that could be what actually nails the president, the former president this time around? I mean, has there been something that is really fundamental to the point that it could really be problems for the president this time? Because the last time it didn't seem there was anything that directly pointed to the former president.
Well, I do think that you should understand that this is a commission of inquiry more than a court, of law, where they might be looking for circumstantial evidence to just ascertain whether the president might have been aware of some of the things, such as meetings taking place in his own residence, or some of the people close to him calling those meetings and him being aware. So it is not something that would be pinned down to him to say we are now charging you in a sense of having done something wrong. Remember, he is a seasoned politician. He might have known that some of these issues down the road will be legally challenged. That's why you don't find his hand directly there. And therefore, you will find that some of the people who worked with him are the ones who are likely going to have a very direct implication on the case. But all what suffices is whether he was aware of these, therefore being an accomplice.
And should, Prof, the Deputy President, continue to say that he is not aware, he doesn't know what happened, what next? Because if you can't point him to actually being there, as many have been unable to do, what then happens?
Well, I do think that the report will simply come out and it might present those circumstantial evidence to say, in the balance of probability, it's unlikely that he was not aware and he had not influenced certain things. But this in itself, having a smoke, without fire doesn't suffice in a court of law. That is why we are not expecting him per se to be charged and be imprisoned on the basis of what has so far been presented, but the report could come scathing on how he might have allowed this situation to happen or even influence it.
All right, well, let's wait to see what happens then, indeed, with the summons issued by the Deputy Chief Justice Zondo. Thank you very much for your time, as always, Prof Fikeni, political analyst Somadoda Fikeni, with us here on SABC News. Thank you, sir.